Hey listeners, it's Paul Andriola here. Why not join our community at Small Cap Discoveries, where we offer our members direct access to some of the best microcap investment opportunities available. Our members are getting access to premium microcap financings, research reports, and direct access to management. Sign up today at www.smallcapdiscoveries.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Small Cap Discoveries conference call. Today is May 30th, 2024, and today on our call, we have the CEO, Ali Tajskandar from Wishpond Technologies. Wishpond trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol WISH, W-I-S-H, and on the OTC under WPNDF. The company is currently trading at 41 cents with about 54 million shares outstanding, or about a $22 million market cap. I'd now like to hand it over to Paul Andriola.
Yeah, Ali, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Wishpond, I noticed the last quarter here you saw a little bit bump up in revenues and improvement some of the other metrics. So happy to have you on board and give us an update. For those that are not familiar with Wishpond, maybe before we sort of get into an update, just remind everybody what Wishpond's all about. And by the way, I believe you've got a slide or a set of slides. If you want to load those up, I'll just hand it over to you and let you go.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for having me, and thanks everyone for being here and for your attention. Yeah, a little bit of a short background about Wishpond. Wishpond is an all-in-one marketing platform that is built for small businesses. And by that, what I mean is that traditionally, most of the marketing technology tools out there are point solutions that are built for marketing professionals and agencies. But when you talk about small businesses that have really limited time, limited financial resources, or marketing know-how, you need to have something that just works out of the box, is all in one, and is cost effective. And that's exactly what Wishpond is. It gives them everything they need in terms of, let me actually quickly share my screen here. So Wishpond gives our small business clients everything they need for attracting new leads. So that could be through our AI-powered website builder, very easy to use drag and drop editor, pop-ups and different lead capture tools, contests and promotions and sweepstakes and photo contests and all of those things. So part of the platform allows you to attract new leads. And once you attracted them, on average, it takes 6-7 touch points for people to have with a business before they start trusting them. So that's where the nurture part becomes very important. So we give them, our platform has email marketing capabilities, text message capabilities, shopping cart abandonment, so that they can warm up those leads and get those leads familiar with the business and get them to trust them. And then our platform also allows our clients to manage their relationship, manage the leads in our leads database and CRM database. And then those who are happy with the service or happy prospects and advocates, you want to be able to use the power of word of mouth. And that's where Wishpond's referral marketing campaigns can help our clients. And this is something that to have all of it in one platform and making it cost effective, it is very rare for small businesses to be available and for the price points that we make available. And the other part of it is that when someone starts with us in the first month, we actually take on the heavy lifting of onboarding. So we don't just give them the tool, the key to the tool, and hope that they know how to get it working, even though we give them training and all of those things as well. But in the first month, we use our copywriters and our designers and all of that so that everything's set up and the heavy lifting is done, so that when we pass the platform to them, it is fully populated and they have best chance of success. So that's high level what Wishpond does and how we are unique in that. We currently serve more than 4,000 businesses from around the world. 75% of our revenue comes from United States, then 11% Canada, the remainder everywhere else. Last year we did $23 million of revenue, and for the past 7 consecutive quarters, we've been adjusted EBITDA positive. In terms of cash flow for the second half of the year, we expect actually, cash balance to increase, and substantially all of our revenue is recurring, subscription-based revenue. So the best quality revenue is all MRR. Our last quarter that we announced, our margins were 68%, and historically it's been between 65 and 70%, and that has been, we're on trajectory to improve that as well. So those are some of the high-level items in terms of background about Wishpond and what we do. In terms of updates, some of it I talked about. We just put out our Q1 numbers. Historically, first quarter for us is a seasonally down quarter versus Q4. And this year it was actually flat compared to Q4, so we're quite happy about that. And the other thing that is actually quite good is our adjusted EBITDA compared to last year's same quarter grew by close to 40%, $300,000. And over the past year and a half, I would say, we've released 4 different AI products that have made the platform a lot stronger and create a lot of future growth opportunities for us. One of them is, let me show my screen actually here. One of them is AI website builder that you can go to wishpond.com/AI, and as part of that process, it asks you a couple of questions, and then 20 seconds later, you have the whole website built for you. All the images, all the text, everything is done by AI. If you don't like something, you can right click and give it feedback, and it changes it for you. And then after that, what is also important is that it's not just creating it, but maintaining it and making changes to the website. If you have moved things around on a PowerPoint presentation, you can use our website builder. You're going to find it very easy to use. That's one of the products that we released. Another one is AI ad management by Braxy, so that it makes the job of managing your Google ads a lot easier, adjusting the bids, adjusting the keywords for you automatically. We released AI email responder, especially if you have a sales team and you want to have an easier time for your sales team members to respond to those. This will automatically draft the responses, and then you can make the final edits if you want, and then send it. The fourth one that I'm most excited about is Sales Closer AI, and this is a product that we released it about a month ago, actually. In the beta program, we had more than 300 companies signing up for the wait list, and then we went live about a month ago. What it is it's an AI sales agent. That means that you go on a Zoom call to get demo from a software company or accounting firm or anything like that. The other side can actually be AI doing it, and it talks very naturally to you. Or you go on a phone call wanting to talk to a car dealership and inquire about their inventory and products, the cars that they have available, and features and all those things. All of that can be AI as well. And we were one of the first ones out the gate with that. We filed a patent related to it as well. And I'm gonna play a short video that hopefully will put that in context in terms of what exactly Sales Closer does.
Introducing Sales Closer AI, the first AI sales agent.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to our website builder demo session.
Imagine an agent that understands the nuances of your business and is able to take calls as you sleep. Imagine an agent that can speak any language and who understands exactly what to say and when.
Hola, ¿cómo te puedo ayudar?
Building an agent is simple. Just input your details, give your agent some context, and provide the agent with information you would give to any new hire. Next, give your agent basic instructions, and instantly, your AI agent is brought to life. Now, imagine initiating discovery calls where your agent understands and adapts to your customers' needs in real time. building rapport, and uncovering opportunities.
Are you looking for carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, or area rug cleaning services?
Area rug cleaning.
Great choice, Kevin. Are you based in Vancouver for the area rug cleaning service that you're interested in?
Yeah, I live downtown.
Thanks for confirming that, Kevin.
Encountering objections, your agent skillfully maneuvers, reframing problems and reiterating pain points. And because SalesCloser understands your knowledge base, it's able to effortlessly answer questions that would take years to train on.
At this stage, would you prefer a different incentive for capturing potential leads on your Funky Sock website in Vancouver, especially targeting parents and friends for gift purchases?
Yeah, so I don't know. We're not huge on giveaways. We think it kind of cheapens the brand.
I completely understand your concern about maintaining the integrity of your brand image. We can definitely explore alternative strategies that resonate more with your brand values.
When it's time to close a sale, SalesCloser AI takes the lead. With clear next steps in mind, SalesCloser artfully turns the conversation into customers.
The next step would be to schedule a call for a kickoff meeting where we can introduce you to our team and start working together.
We are very early stage startup, so can we do some negotiation on the payment side?
We can discuss terms based on your current stage. I understand your position as an early stage startup. Let's discuss your specific needs further on a kickoff call so we can tailor our approach. When would be a good time for this call?
Tomorrow at the same time?
Great.
Data is relayed in real time, ensuring no follow-up is missed, and can even be personalized on behalf of your team. So it feels like a real person is guiding them every step of the way. Experience a new way to communicate with customers that breaks down time zones, bridges language gaps, and accelerates training. Experience SalesCloser AI today.
So one thing that you might have noticed is two of the audio segments, it sounded like my voice, but it was a clone of my voice. It wasn't me voice acting.
I was wondering that actually.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, you can go to wishpond.com/AI-demo to get a demo of Propel IQ, Wishpond product through SalesCloser, and it's going to be my voice there too.
Gotcha.
Paul, any questions so far before I talk about some of the other aspects and updates?
Yeah. Well, listen, if you got more you want to talk about, let's do that. And we'll save the questions for later. Otherwise, I can always jump into the questions. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think maybe the other thing I wanted to quickly talk about is last year, a lot of our focus was on rolling out Propel IQ. So Propel IQ is, that image that I showed you with attract, nurture, refer, that is the culmination of everything that we built for years and the acquisitions that we made since going public. So as a refresher, we went public December of 2020, so 3.5 years ago, $7.9 million of revenue back then. Now revenue run rate $24 million, so three times larger. And some of it came from the acquisitions we made, and a lot of it came from our organic growth as well. Now, what we wanted to always do, and it was our thesis, was that point solutions are not as sticky as bundled offering, all-in-one offering, and especially when it comes to small businesses. And you can see this, for example, TELUS or Shaw or your local telecom company, when they sell you phone service, is sticky, but it's not as sticky as if they also sell you internet and home security and a few other things as well. Just any of those add more value and make it harder to rip it apart, right? And so that was our thought, that okay, you know what, Wishpond can be very strong if you put them together. We call that Propel IQ. And over the past year that we launched it, we grew that to more than 500 customers just on Propel IQ. And it's a lot of our future is basically we think is that. And one of the things that we also released recently in terms of update on Propel IQ is that even though it is relatively recent, but we already see certain things that confirm the thesis we had, and we're very excited about that. One is, relatively speaking to the rest of our legacy business, we see up to 40% lower churn on Propel IQ versus our point solutions that we were selling, which is absolutely huge for us, right? The other thing that we see is that, you know, our 65 to 70% margins that we have with Propel IQ, we see upwards of 80% margin. We see, even though starting monthly price is lower, but because of the higher retention and those aspects of it, we see long-term value is more than 20% higher than what we had before. So a lot of our focus was on making sure that we make the company ready for the next stage of growth, that we can get to, you know, $100 million of revenue, and we can, you know, we can support that weight. And that's where last year a lot of our effort was going into that, and it wasn't without difficulties, because, you know, the analogy I use is changing the engine mid-air is very difficult. Because you have the rest of the business to maintain, and you don't want to create too much turbulence, and you don't want to you know, lower the altitude and it's very difficult. And it we still grew by 13% for the year. One large client, that legacy business we had, without them it would have been 22%. Still good year. But that's despite the headwind that we had with retooling everyone, you know, retraining all the sales team, and all of those things. So now going into the future, we have Propel IQ that is stickier, that has higher margin, that is more differentiated product offering. And we also have SalesCloser that is huge, you know, open field for us to expand into and bring a lot of value. One of the things that I think might also be important to note here is, over the years, the average monthly revenue per customer has been increasing. You know, back in 2017 was $188 per customer per month, and 2023 it has grown to $570 Canadian per month, and that is a trajectory that has continued. But with SalesCloser, we expect actually to do even higher than that, and I'll give you some examples. Our business model generally is, you know, starting price of $400 Canadian, $300 US for Propel IQ. Some of the other packages we have are more expensive, and then based on the leads and everything else, it goes up. SalesCloser, in contrast, prices generally start at $1,000 per seat. And that $1,000 per seat, you can imagine, you know, a car dealership that has 30 locations, their starting price is going to be $30,000 a month, right? And then based on usage and the airtime, it can actually become substantially higher than that as well. And then when you think about that $1,000 per month per seat, you have to compare that to the cost of a full-time salesperson, probably around $10,000 a month, right? So it's 90% cheaper, and for us has great margins, and it helps us scale and move up market to a certain extent as well. And it also is something that allows us to, maybe, you know, we have 40 salespeople right now, maybe instead of doubling or, you know, adding 20 more salespeople, maybe we keep it flat and we complement it with SalesCloser ourselves. So allows us to scale more efficiently as well.
Yeah. And Ali, on a product like that, what is sort of the cost to operate that? If you're generating $1,000 per customer, what's it cost to sort of keep that customer?
Margins right now that we see are around 90%, but I think it could change because one, some of the costs constantly go down and we optimize them as well. But also at the same time, we expect more competitors to enter the market. Right now is not very competitive. We're one of the first ones in that, but we do expect, and that means that probably we will reduce prices for certain segments or include more airtime for that, you know, $1,000. So, you know, if it's 90% now, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, the range that we're working with is more like 70 to 80%.
Yeah, still very healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to remind everybody that's listening, if you've got a question you'd like me to ask Ali, please use the chat function and we'll ask the question. Well, it sounds like the sales AI is brand new, so I doubt that's had any effect in your revenues here.
No.
But this last quarter, you saw an increase in revenue, even though Q1 is traditionally sort of seasonally a slow quarter for you. What's the reason for that? Like, anything different you're doing, or is it just more of the same?
Yeah, it's a few things. One is that we've had, a negative, which is our largest customer has been a client that is more in the lead gen kind of area. They generate leads and then they market to them different offers that they have from affiliate programs. And it's a business that increasingly has been becoming harder and harder for them. And because of that, their revenue has been and their revenue contribution to Wishpond has been shrinking over time. At some point they were about $800,000 a quarter of our revenue. Now most recent quarter is like 250,000.
Wow.
So and that's the only client that we have above 1% of our revenue, right? So as that has been coming down, a lot of the effect of seasonality that was built into that client also is not really there as much. And now Propel IQ lifting up, that also gives us more stability because a lot of these are not really seasonal, and so we hope that this is a new norm and we wouldn't necessarily see that fluctuating that much.
Gotcha. And the other question is more around the balance sheet. What's your current cash position, and what do you foresee as your use of, or sorry, need for capital going forward?
Yeah, a great question. So we have $1.4 million of cash. Actually, sorry, the more recent one, about $2 million of cash, but about $2 million also on the line of credit. So net is actually zero. We have a $6 million line of credit from National Bank of Canada available to us to use. Now, we paid out all the earnouts that we had for the companies that we acquired in Q1. That was the last payment. And first half of the year, also, we have a lot more expenses related to compliance and, audit fees and taxes and all of those things that are behind us as well. What we see, even with flat revenue, but obviously we're going to have growing revenue, second half of the year to be positive cash build up. So because of that, we don't actually see a need to raise any money, whether it's debt or equity financing. And we feel we can handle it with our own cash flow. And, for working capital needs, we'll tap into line of credit from time to time.
Gotcha. And then as far as additional sort of new initiatives, Sales AI, obviously a big piece of that, but is there other stuff that they expect? Either new products or new geographies, new business models? What if any, do you have planned?
I mean, there are always things that we're experimenting with or expanding into different areas, and that's not gonna stop. But majority of our focus right now is getting everyone in our organization to sell Propel IQ all in one bundle and increase the success of that, and putting more and more force behind sales closers. So those are the major initiatives that we have going, and it's gonna keep us busy.
And my apologies, I called it Sales AI. I've got it noted down as Sales Closer. So, okay, that's great. And then challenges. I mean, you're still relatively small. You've got EBITDA positive right now, but what are the challenges running the business right
now? The challenges of running the business right now, I think there are a number of them. One is cash balance is part of the challenge, and unfortunately, that gets reflected in the stock price as well. And right now, small cap tech is not necessarily favorite in the market. So that's part of it. But at the same time, I'm not too worried about that because we were never so far into the red that that was a concern, and we're within a striking distance, and we already know what our cash flow is going to look like for the rest of the year. But balancing cash flow with investment in the growth of the business, whether it's Propel IQ sales or putting money behind sales closer, is always a challenge. And it's very tricky to juggle all of those priorities and do that well. But we still feel that we can do that without the need for outside capital, and we want to avoid outside capital because when we went public, the stock price was 75 cents. Now we're 3 times larger. We have a lot more interesting products and a lot more competitive, and the stock price is 40 cents. When we look at our comparables in US, the larger ones are trading at about 7 times multiple of sales. And you could say larger ones obviously get different treatment and the scale premium, and that's true. But we also look at some of the smaller ones in our own backyard, like Prontoforms or True Context, they were renamed, and Media Valley that were recently taken private. They were taken private at 3.6 times multiple and 3.8 times multiple of revenue, and right now we're trading below 1 time multiple of revenue. And our profitability is better than those comparables. So I think we're quite undervalued, and that means that we don't want to raise money, and we want to just let the market sort itself out, especially as cash situation improves.
How much resources go back into R&D? How much spend, maybe on a percentage basis of your revenue, do you sort of put back into the R&D?
I think, let me see. I think about 10% or so goes into R&D of our total revenue.
Okay, good. So, I mean, with that, you can expect either improvements or ongoing innovations and new products.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if we look forward, then what do you see as potentially other catalysts or maybe milestones that are important to the business?
A few things. I think with SalesCloser, there are a number of really interesting contracts and projects we're working on that I think some of them will press release, and it will be interesting to see for our investors of the use cases and the scale of them, and what they can do in terms of transformation for the business. I mentioned car dealership as an example. Is one of the deals, one of the larger deals that the company is working on, and I look at that as such an interesting use case. We're talking to one of the largest players in Middle East with many locations, and they say their challenge is people call them, and you select 1 for new car, 2 for used car, 3 for service, and then their switchboard has to find the salesperson on the floor that is available, and more often than not, no one picks up, and sometimes someone picks up and puts it on mute, and so much missed opportunity there, right? And now to say, you know what, if no one is available, just send it to AI, and AI has up to the minute inventory. It will talk naturally in all of these different languages, and what it can do for us could be great. So in terms of the catalyst, announcing some of those use cases as they solidify, I think is part of it. And the rest of it is really the financial performance of the company. I think ultimately we are in a little bit of a wait and see with the market, and as they see cash build up, I think that could be a huge trigger for investors as well.
And speaking of cash build up, I know you've done acquisitions in the past, but do you see other uses of cash apart from just general, sort of working capital? If you were to build more sizable amount of cash, what do you do with that cash?
Investment in SalesCloser, investment in growing our sales, acquisitions is part of it, and if our stock price stays low, then buying back our shares aggressively.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, perfect. Ali, we sort of come to the end here. Is there any key message, any key takeaway you want to make sure everybody walks away with today?
I mean, first of all, thank you very much, everyone, for your time. High level of it, I think if I want to summarize what is interesting about Wishpond is that it's a company that has been around for a number of years. Every year we've grown our revenue. Since 2019, we've been adjusted EBITDA positive. More than 4,000 customers that we serve, 24 million revenue run rate. We have a very scalable sales engine where $1 investment in sales gives us close to $4 return in the same year. We have, 4,000 customers that we have is a drop in the bucket in terms of the addressable market size. There are tens of millions of small businesses in the world that are completely underserved, and we have the right solution for them. And it's an all-in-one platform that is, in terms of depth and breadth, is, leading the charge. And we have also the blue sky opportunities with Sales Closer that can really revolutionize things for us, as well as, what it can do for the broader market. So, and we're undervalued. So I think those are probably, that's a closed note version of the investment opportunity.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate it. Well, I mean, excited to hear more about Sales Closer as things come along here. Interesting stuff to watch out for. Ali, thanks for joining us. We've been speaking with Ali Tajskandar, CEO of Wishpond. Symbol again is WISH on the Venture Exchange. Ali, thanks again, and I look forward to catching up in the near future.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, everyone.